interviews, top 10s, top 20s, album reviews, and more. Now here is your host, Eric.
Yeah! Woo! What a day and night yesterday was. July 5th. Put that on the calendar. It was Saturday, July 5th. I'm going to call it Sabbath Day. Happy Sabbath Day. You know, they got to make a Black Sabbath day, man. They got to make, I would think July 5th, you know, supposedly it's like the end of an era, you know. And, you know, what a freaking show that was. I mean, okay, Kiss at Madison Square Garden, their final two shows that they did a couple years ago, this completely blew that away. I mean, I imagine Gene Simmons right now is thinking, fuck, man, we should have did it right. I believe they did it right, man. Black Sabbath did it right. You know, it was the beginning, Back to the Beginning is the name of the show. Here you go. They had all these guests. Definitely they had different guests listed throughout the whole time they were promoting the whole thing. And so, you know, but look, and then there's Ozzy right there. Yeah, and all of his glory. And that nice throne, that's the throne I thought they were gonna use, that I figured they were gonna use, you know, because of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But look, Back to the Beginning, Black Sabbath. So got it upside down. First album. Right, we're gonna get to the set list here in a little bit. I'm gonna review. The show was so incredible. Like I was so emotional. I mean, I cried. Look, I even posted a video of me when I was pretty much about breaking down and stuff. Check this out. Hold on. Yeah, you can see him all choked up watching Ozzy. Woo! He just looks so happy. I didn't think this would happen. Woo! He just looks so happy. I'm so happy for him. But it was so emotional, and especially for me, because my very first concert, I've told this story a million times, but my very first concert was the Bark at the Moon tour. You know, I'm 15 years old. It's March 29th. I even got the ticket here. Now, this ain't the original ticket. This is a replica I was able to find. But it's definitely the day and the place, you know, at Fresno Selling Arena in California. 1984, you know, I was already blown away by Jakey Lee by watching them at the US Festival. I didn't go to the US Festival, but I saw the replay they did on Showtime back then. And I just remember seeing Jakey Lee as like, man, this dude's fucking just badass way he moves and everything. But I still wasn't really, you know, thinking about playing guitar or nothing like that. But it was when I went and saw Ozzy for the first time, first concert ever. And then just coming home after seeing Jakey Lee and just telling my grandmother, hey, I need a guitar. You got to give me a guitar. I want to play. Da, 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 da. And then eventually I ended up forming a band in high school with my friends, or my friend actually invited me to form a band with him. And the rest is history. That was Will-O-Wisp and blah, 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 blah. But enough of that. We're talking about Ozzy here and the impact that he had on me. So that was my first concert. So it was very emotional for me. And then to see Jakey Lee there, you know, we'll get to that part, man. There's just some cool parts that came up with Jakey Lee. If you haven't seen it, did you guys watch it? I mean, I stood up. Okay, so I had to go to. I normally don't get up on early that Saturday morning. Well, I do kind of. I usually get up around 8 o'clock in the morning because I have to work. I have to leave for work around 9:30. But look, I got my cup that Ozzy would probably drink out of if he had it. And so, but you know, it's July weekend and 4th of July weekend, 4th of July was night before. So I had to go to bed early, even though the fireworks are keeping me up and stuff. But I had to go to bed early because the streaming, I bought the ticket for $30 and it streamed at 7 a.m. in the morning, which means it was on a 2-hour delay. The show in England started at 1 o'clock, but I guess it's because of the 2-hour delay, 3 o'clock for Eastern people, or I forgot what the time zone was for them. Either way, it was 7 a.m. for us. And so I had to get up around 6 a.m. and I thought, okay, what I'll do is I'll start it or whatever at 7. And I know there's going to be all these like different bands and jam bands and stuff like that before they go on at the very last. And I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll just kind of watch the beginning of it and then maybe take little naps in between. And just because I was still tired, man, I was just like, you know, I got about 6 hours sleep, but I was still tired. Just from like I said, it's been a long time since I woke up that early, you know, especially on a Saturday. So I figured I'd just take little naps, but I didn't. I just ended up sitting there watching the whole thing, you know, ate some breakfast and stuff, and you know, got through some of the bands I don't care for, And then we'll go through that. I'm going to go through the set list of all the bands and what covers they did. So yeah, but when it finally got to the Ozzy part, so let's talk about that. Okay, Ozzy Osbourne. What songs did he do? Are you wondering? Well, he exceeded our expectations. I mean, everyone, including myself, kind of figured as the show was announced sometime earlier in the year, July 5th, Ozzy's going to sing with Black Sabbath one last time. We're thinking, okay, cool. Everyone's buying their tickets and everything. As the show got closer, then we started hearing stuff like, well, Ozzy's probably not going to sing the whole set. He's probably might only do one or two songs. He can't walk anymore. He's going to be in a chair. So then it got to a point where we're thinking he might not even sing at all. Maybe he's just going to sit in the throne and everyone just kind of pay tribute to him. And maybe Black Sabbath will perform with different singers or different guest vocalists or something like that. That's what we thought. So, but then as time went on, But man, he blew us away. He did 5 songs. He started with I Don't Know, Mr. Crowley, Suicide Solution, Mama, I'm Coming Home, which is about where I started kind of tearing up, I think, or it was somewhere maybe it might have been Suicide Solution. You probably hear the background music when you heard that video, but yeah, it was watching the crowd and the way Ozzy was looking so happy, and and then feeling sad at the same time that he wishes he can get out of that chair and just move around like he used to. But he also looked like, you know what, fuck it, man. This is like the performance of a lifetime. This is something he's been waiting to do for the past 6 years, since he's been kind of sort of stricken, bedridden in a sense, or they're not able to perform. And so they needed Mama Come. Oh, yeah, then close the night with Crazy Train. And the beauty of it is they had Zakk Wylde on guitar, which is cool. I was thinking, because you didn't hear nothing about that. He didn't say who his band was, who was going to be playing with him. We already knew Jakey Lee, even though he was going to be there, that Jakey Lee wasn't going to perform with him, most likely, because Jake even said himself that he's performing early in the show. We figure he might be drunk by the time Ozzy goes on and won't be able to perform. But it was Zakk Wylde, which I was happy to see at least that, so it felt like the original band back together again. I think he had the guy from Faith No More playing drums. I could be wrong in that. I have to go back and watch it again. But yeah, so it's just his voice sounded great. And our biggest fear too was, is he going to be lip syncing? Is he going to be playing the tracks or whatever? And I was listening closely. I was sitting there going, okay, come on. His voice sounds too perfect right now. What's going on? He could barely talk to the crowd because he's run out of breath when he talks. And then his voice is sounding phenomenal. And I started thinking, well, I remember my grandmother used to like this one guy. He was like I don't know if he's a country singer or one of those kind of big stars that sings, a crooner, I guess you could say. Anyway, what was his name? Maybe something Tillis or something. No. Anyway, I guess when he would talk in interviews, he would stutter like crazy. Like he would stutter more than like Joe Biden or something. He would just like he couldn't get a sentence out. But then when he sang, it was flawless. I think it was the guy from Gomer's Pile, the gay guy, the Gomer. I think maybe his name was Gomer. Anyway, when he would talk, he would stutter really bad. But when he sang, he was just a really beautiful voice, and you couldn't even tell. Same with like some English singers, how they talk with a heavy British accent, but then when they sing, they're singing just perfectly like fine as far as there's no accent. It's kind of like Ozzy. So maybe there's that part of that phenomenon that Ozzy has, that maybe that gift where he can just sing really well and just not talk very well because of his Parkinson's and everything else he's got going on. But so then all of a sudden, Mama, I'm Coming Home comes on, and his voice is raspy. You could hear, I guess Zakk was kind of assist him on the vocals a little bit, but you could tell he was kind of keeping under Ozzy just as some kind of support there. Because I heard some bum notes. I don't think it was from Zakk. It sounded to me like from Ozzy. Oh my God, bum notes. No, that's a good thing. That tells us that he's not lip singing. He's actually singing for real. So I will not complain about no bad notes from Ozzy because he's singing for real. Right. And so I mean, he did all the classics. I wasn't expecting him to do a bunch of deep tracks or anything like that. But, you figure the fact that he did those songs in his condition, I mean, that's amazing. So get this, 5 songs by himself as a solo artist. And then Black Sabbath coming on right after, and he does at least 4 songs with them. So he did 9 songs all together. had a little break in between him and Black Sabbath, but still like enough time to recuperate a little bit. But still, he pulled it off. He came out. They did War Pigs as the first song. Now the biggest star, one of the biggest stars of the night, not only is Ozzy, but it's Bill Ward, because he's the one that kind of like, this wouldn't have really even happened if Bill Ward didn't agree to it. Because Ozzy was like, the only way I'll do something like this is if Bill Ward's involved. And Bill Ward in the past has made it clear that he would never perform with Ozzy again. He was done with him. So I'm thinking either he got a really sweet deal, or maybe he just decided, you know what, hey, we're not very well off in our health or whatever, so we might as well let's just bury the hatchet and do this one last time. Fuck it, and I kind of felt like that was his attitude, like just his look on his face when he's playing. It seemed like he was just like, just want to get this done and over with. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, he went out there with the shirt off and everything, which was cool. Check it out, I got my Ozzy shirt on, of course. Yeah, he went out there with the shirt off. All the warts and all, if so to speak. But which is cool, and barefoot and everything. I felt he struggled a little bit in the beginning. I think when he was sort of some of the fills or the toms, that he's really famous for his fills, especially the ones in the song Black Sabbath. He puts them in the right spot, and just makes that song extra creepy. But I felt like he was a little off in certain areas. Even Tony Iommi kept kind of looking at him, like, hey, what the fuck, but he pulled it off. So let's run down what songs they did. What songs did they do, Eric? You watched the whole thing. Well, they did War Pigs, NIB. Kind of figured they'd do that one. Iron, pretty much all this is standard hits. If anyone was expecting deep tracks, then any song that all the other bands covered, Black Sabbath wasn't going to do. So I kind of gave you an idea that, because that kind of told you, like, if any of the bands didn't perform War Pigs, then we know Black Sabbath is going to do War Pigs. If none of the bands performed Iron Man or NIB or Paranoid, then it's pretty much a given that Black Sabbath is going to perform those, because the kind of the golden rules, if you're an opening band and you're covering the main acts, one of their songs, you don't do that in your set. Which I think the Who, did the Who do that with Iron Maiden? Because I know they put out the Trooper before they went on tour with them, and I don't think they played the Trooper live. That's just kind of like a golden rule. I don't think it's like set in stone, but yeah. So yeah, but I mean, it was an amazing set. Ozzy doing his thing, just sitting in a chair, going like this, and clap your hands and making some crazy faces every now and then, which is really cool. He's trying his best just to get into it and do it. His voice was phenomenal. Again, I don't know what doctoring they did in the mix or as far as effects goes, but I don't care about that. Every vocalist uses some kind of delay or reverb on their vocals live just to give it that big impact sound. Doesn't make them a bad singer. It's not means you're hiding anything. It's just, even like pop singers, pop singers lip sync, but yeah, as long as if something like that's not a big deal, but it's just as long as we know that Ozzy wasn't doing any backing tracks. And I could tell, because if there was backing tracks, there were times where he stopped singing and kind of in a spot that was kind of weird, even though it was for sometimes the audience participates in when the singer stops, but he was stopping in certain areas, maybe to catch his breath, and there was no vocal kept going on or nothing like that. So we know for a fact that Ozzy was actually singing, which is good, and yeah, it's just an overall phenomenal. I mean, a lot of things that people are pointing out is, which I caught afterwards on the replay, was I guess when the band was finally done, and then they left the stage, and Ozzy turned around, he's like, "Get the fuck back on the stage." you could just see his mouth moving to those words, and I think you can almost kind of hear it a little bit too, because I guess he was shouting at either Bill Ward or Geezer Butler, to get back on the stage, because I think he wanted to do like one final bow, with the fireworks going and everything, and yeah, they just kind of walked off. I felt kind of, watching it again, thinking, damn, that sucks. The fucking dicks, Oh, but Geezer Butler too. I got to point out that how good he was, man. I mean, so Geezer Butler and Tony Iommi are both even though as old as they are, but they're probably the most two that are the best in shape of the band. But Geezer Butler, when he did his bass solo and stuff before NIB, that was fucking badass and cool effect on it and everything. So yeah, great show, phenomenal, emotional. What do you guys think? Put it into the comments. What was your feeling on it? Did you watch it yet? Have you got a chance to go watch the replay? And I know a lot of people maybe bought the stream. I think the stream is worth the $30. It was I felt Jason Momoa was a great host. I mean, the dude's just full on metalhead. I've heard people complain, "What's he got to do with it? He's an actor. He's not even a good actor." He's a metalhead. He's one of us. I mean, he's passionate about it. And so, yeah. So I couldn't think of anyone else better to host it. I would like Eddie Trunk to host it, but I don't think him and Sharon Osbourne get along too well. So, is this Black Sabbath's final show? Is this Ozzy's final show? I mean, should we believe him this time? Every band says it's their final, but they never do. I honestly think because Ozzy did so well that Sharon's thinking, maybe not Black Sabbath won't go out again, but she's probably calling some people in Vegas and trying to get maybe a residency going. I can see Ozzy doing at least 2 days or 2 nights, maybe a month or something, maybe 2 nights in 1 month, or maybe I don't know. I wonder if that would hurt it though, because I wonder if people would just be like, because everyone was so emotional for Ozzy. I mean, it was 30,000 people, it was packed, and it was so emotional for Ozzy. But I wonder if they decided to announce like, okay, he's going to do a residency. I wonder if that would like kind of destroy his image in a way. Like maybe people would think it was a cash grab or whatever. I don't know. I think he'd be fine. I think because it'd be here in America, then also everyone in America that couldn't go over there to see him there will get to see him at least one last time. Maybe they could do like a final Ozzy Black Sabbath thing in Vegas. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. Why not? While they're on this high, maybe do like one final. Because look at the Foo Fighters. They did that for Taylor Hawkins. They did the big tribute over in England, and then they did the big tribute over in LA. I got some gas for some reason. This skull. Never drink out of a skull because it gives you gas. Oh, you know what? I'm on TikTok. I'm getting a lot of good follows there and everything. It's a really good community of metal and everything. So if you're watching this, there you go. Just point your phone to that and go there and follow the Metal Block with Eric on TikTok. Except no substitutes. I know there's a couple other metal blocks out there, but I've been thinking, should I change the name? I don't know. We're going to see. I haven't been hit up yet by anybody to tell me to change mine, so we're going to just keep rolling with it. But I got some backup names just in case. But the Metal Block with Eric is on TikTok. Wait, I got a point right there. So yeah, check it out. 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 All right, I'll put that in. So yeah. What do you think? Is Ozzy going to go back out on tour again? You think or is he done? Is he finally done? Like you said, Sharon's probably finding a way she can milk that shit. Well, here's a picture of Ozzy at the show. All right, now I'm going to give you my thoughts on the entire. I'm going to go through each band that performed, and I'll give you my thoughts on that as well. Trying not to eat up too much time here. I know we're in a very fast food social media industry where people like their videos quick and not drag on like the length of a Star Wars movie or Lord of the Rings movie. I see some videos are like 3 hours long, or sometimes mine are gone 2 hours long. They will be like, check it out after like the first 10 minutes. But if you're still here, thank you. Thank you for hanging out with me, man. Fucking metal. All right. It's passion. It's rock and metal. Music in general, just music. Like I'm doing the Donald Trump thing. Music is passion. Music saves your life. It was heavy metal and rock that nearly killed me because I was drinking and partying, thinking that's what I had to do to be in that scene. And then after I got sober, it was music and rock that saved me, because without that, I'd probably go back to drinking and drugs if I didn't have this music in my life, and then be able to play guitar again and write music again. So yeah, the thing that almost killed me is now saving me. So yeah, of course I make my own choices, right? Yeah. So let's talk about the rest of the show. Mastodon opened up. What are my thoughts on Mastodon? I don't know enough about them. They're one of those bands that's been around forever. I know they're big, they're huge, they have big tours. Whenever they put out an album, they probably sell a lot. Everyone is into metal or like just. I guess they're kind of would you consider them kind of like the mainstream of all, like, of doom metal? Because I don't know, it's weird. Like, they're big, but you don't really hear you don't see them on mainstream stuff too much. Like, are they going to be the next, like, Iron Maiden or Judas Priest, like 10 years from now? Like, will people like still be going to their shows? And because I'm sure they inspired the generation that they came out with, right? But they did a song called Black Tongue, Blood and Thunder, and again, I wasn't familiar with them. I like them. I don't know. I might check out some of their records and maybe put some of them in my catalog of music. So yeah, They did Supernaut. I really like the way they did the cover. I really like Supernaut. I love that riff, that slide or whatever that Tony Iommi does. And yeah, so they did a really cool cover of that. The drummer sang it, and he had a good voice. He almost sounded like Ozzy in certain areas. Okay. So yeah, so Mastodon opened the show. That was really good. Rival Sons. This is a band that Eddie Trunk. I listen to Eddie Trunk almost every day on the Trunk Nation on Sirius XM. Faction Talk 103. Gotta get a plug in there for him. And he's always raving about Rival Sons. How it's like the freaking Jesus Christ of rock music or whatever. They're good. I mean, I'm not big on these kind of Led Zeppelin-y sounding bands. I kind of call them dollar store Zeppelin bands, you know. But the singer's phenomenal. I can't deny that they're good at what they do. I mean, to me, it's just not like something I would go put a record on or nothing. They're like, hey, I gotta hear that song again. I don't know. Maybe I need to hear more of them. I'm sure they probably do some good ballads. Maybe, you know, maybe I should check out one of their records instead of being so judgmental. The Rival Sons, they did a song called Do Your Worst, but they covered Electric Funeral by Black Sabbath. So Mastodon did Supernaut, Rival Sons did Black Sabbath Electric Funeral. If you notice the pattern here, I think most of the bands are doing like an original or two, and then they'll do a Black Sabbath cover. So it's kind of cool. Then Anthrax comes on. Yeah. Here's the thing about Joey Belladonna, man. That dude always looks the same, right? I mean, he always has the same hairstyle since 1983. He's had the same hairstyle with the bangs and the you know, his face has aged a little bit, but he still looks the same. The whole band kind of looks the same still. Like I don't think those guys. I don't know. It's weird. They're like in some kind of weird time capsule. Like Scott Ian has looked the same for the past like 40 years, maybe. Well, I know he used to have kind of long, thinning hair, but since he shaved his head bald, he's looked the same no matter what. So probably like past 30 years, the dude's never changed. And I thought they were good. I mean, you know, they did Indians, which is a classic on the Among the Living album. And then they did, let's see, what song did they do as far as for Black Sabbath? Oh, Into the Void. A lot of people are complaining about Joey's voice or something. I saw some of that in the chats and everything. I thought he sounded good. I mean, he sounded like Joey Belladonna. He sounds like the same as he always sounds. But he's a good singer. I mean, he does freaking Steve Perry, does like freaking a Journey tribute thing, which he's really good at doing that. He's always been a good singer. So maybe Black Sabbath is his thing, but I'd have to hear it again. Maybe I'll watch it. I'm going to probably watch a lot of this stuff on replay eventually. You know, I still got 2 days to watch the entire stream, 9.5 hours, man. Yeah, so I stayed on that fucking in front of my screen for like 9.5 hours, man. Took a couple bathroom breaks during some of the bands I didn't care for, which we'll get to. But yeah. So after Anthrax comes Hellstorm, another band I'm not too into. I like Lizzie Hale. I think she's a phenomenal singer. I think she really brought it yesterday. I mean, just the power that she puts into her voice, and sometimes you think she's going to pass out. She's put so much freaking power in it, but she keeps on going, man. She, you know, I'm not sure how good she is on guitar. I know she plays guitar sometimes. I don't really know a whole lot about her guitar playing, but I know vocal wise, she's a great singer. She filled in for Skid Row when they lost their last singer for a few shows, and yeah. So the cover that she didn't do a Black Sabbath song. She did Perry Mason by Ozzy Osbourne off the Osmosis record, that's a good record. I just bought that CD a few months ago. I never really heard it all the way through, but I like it. It's one of those Ozzy albums that are kind of like underrated, it seems like. So yeah, but they did originals, Love Bites. How many bands have a song called Love Bites? Judas Priest, a few other ones. Let's see, and then Rain Your Blood on Me. That one I was thinking, is this song about menstrual cycle? Because, you know, she's all about women power. Like, rain your blood on me. I know what that's about. Sorry, ladies. No offense. But, yeah. Hey, us men, we have our periods too. We rain our blood on you. So, yeah, but she did phenomenal, man. And so then the Lamb of God comes on. What can I say about Lamb of God? You know, I've tried to get into this band. I even bought one of the records, maybe 2 records ago, 2022 release, I think it was. And I don't know. To me, they're just kind of like run of the mill, like that type of vocal dude metal. You know, it's just like if you're a dude, you gotta like Lamb of God. If you're a dude, you gotta like Pantera and all these other bands that are like that kind of similar type thing. You gotta wear like this. I don't know. It's just like a certain look or certain attitude you got to have to. But I could be being overly judgmental too. I mean, again, they're good at what they do. Obviously, they're doing it right. They're doing something right. They're out there selling records and selling out shows and everything else. So, but it's just me personally, just not a fan of the music. I try to get into it. Is I like. Look, I love heavy shit. Don't get me wrong. I love fucking, and I love the most brutalist music and most evilest music. I love music that'll send you fucking scared, hiding with your tail between your legs, all that shit. But Lamb of God just doesn't do it for me. Matter of fact, I listen to music that would scare Lamb of God. Yeah, but they did. I guess they did Children of the Grave" by Black Sabbath, which I thought was a pretty good cover. Didn't care for the vocals too much in it, but that's one of my favorite Black Sabbath songs off of Master of Reality, which is I think my all-time favorite Black Sabbath album, next to Volume 4. Yeah, yeah. Volume 4 was on my number 2. I did a countdown of the top 6 Black Sabbath albums, 1 through 6. I didn't because I don't have technical ecstasy or Never Say Die, which I'm gonna go get those records now just to check them out. So, Show the Grave. Now we're moving on. We got a little bit to go. So the Premier Jam, that's Tom Morello's super group. So he puts together these different artists like Benton Court. He has Lizzie Hale on this one. David Draymond from Disturbed. He was in it. A few other musicians. Doesn't really say in this little list here who all showed up on that one. But this was where they introduced Jakey Lee. This was the moment I've been waiting for. Jakey Lee. Is he going to do Bark at the Moon? We already knew he wasn't going to do Bark at the Moon because he said he wasn't because of his hand. He's this dude was shot, man, multiple times back in October. He was trying to. He came up on some people robbing these kids. I guess we found out late. We just found out they got arrested finally, and there were one 17, one was 19. So they were just kids basically trying to rob his neighbor's motorcycle, and he went up on them. And according to his story, he said they both kind of looked at each other, stared each other down, and he just told the guy, "Hey, you go your way, I'll go mine." Like I didn't see nothing or whatever. So he goes to turn around to walk off, and then they start shooting him in the back and in the leg and everything. And fuck, man, the dude ended up in the hospital. Like we thought we could have lost Jakey Lee that night. It was 2 a.m. He was walking his dog. Luckily, his dog survived as well. And so he's been recovering from that. And before that, he was just about to get back into playing guitar because he was battling carpal tunnel for many years, and that's why he hasn't been out there. And then he's in Vegas. He drinks. I don't know if he's an alcoholic or not, but I hear that he drinks a lot. He goes to the nightclubs, and that's why he was out walking his dog so late because he gets home around that time. So yeah, but you factor all of that into his playing. He did phenomenal. The funny thing about it, which is the highlight for me, was they introduced him, and I forgot who was introduced him. It might have been Tom Morello or somebody saying Jakey Lee, and then they're all like getting ready to play Lizzie Hale, and they're all looking around. Where's Jake? And then everyone starts like, "Hey, anybody see Jake?" And then all of a sudden they start chanting Jake. And then he finally comes out, and he's like all embarrassed looking because he's like, either he got lost, he didn't, or maybe he was shooting the shit with somebody. I like to joke that maybe he was probably getting tanked at the bar, like, oh shit, I got to go on. But yeah, he kind of rolled out, and when I think it was Noodle Bencourt, that's how you roll out like a rock star, But yeah, then he started. He did The Ultimate Sin with Lizzie Hale. Fucking sounded good, man. I mean, that's not like one of my favorite songs, but shit, he sounded good. He did the solo good. Noodle Bencourt was backing him up on that as well. He moved cool. He just looked cool. And then David Draymond came out for the next Ozzy song, and he got booed a lot. I guess I didn't know what he was getting booed for. I knew he had something to do with the Israel-Palestine war or something, but I didn't know exactly what he did to cause so much hatred towards him. I read later. I found I guess he autographed one of the missiles that was used to like kind of kill women and children, and that Israel shot at Palestine. But he was like autographing it, in a photo, and so that kind of that fucked up his shit, man. Regardless of where you stand on that war, I'm just looking like, hey, when's it going to end? I know Donald Trump says he's going to end it in a day, but he hasn't done that yet. So, but yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, no matter where you stand in that war, who you're with, you're going to catch some heat no matter what. But yeah, so Jakey Lee. Oh, and then on this one, so Shot in the Dark starts right. And then Jakey Lee, he's like, either he forgot how it starts, and was just, or his guitar wasn't plugged in all the way or something, because he was fumbling around. There was no guitar in the very beginning, and he was kind of fumbling around, and he kind of fumbled one of the riffs, the opening riffs or whatever. But then once he caught on, it was like sounded really good. I mean, he pulled it off. So yeah, so Jakey Lee, my idol, the one that made me want to play guitar. It made me a guitar player that I am today. Thank you, Jake. Alice in Chains comes on. I'm not a big fan of Alice in Chains. You know, how many times you can hear that over and over and over. They got a different singer, obviously. You know, I mean, I respect their musicianship. Obviously, Ken Trail is a good guitar player. His solo stuff sounds pretty cool. I was watching one of his recent videos and that just came out, and I kind of like it. I don't know if I'd buy it or not, but it's cool. I like it better than Alice in Chains personally. They did Man in a Box, of course, and then they covered Fairies Wear Boots. The singer, I was making a joke in the chat because the singer looked like Blind Al from Deadpool. You know, the black lady that sniffs cocaine and shit in the Deadpool movies. Yeah, he looked just like her. I was picturing her up there singing with him. Woo! Nothing to see there though. Alice in Chains, blah 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 blah. I'm just not a big of a fan. I mean, if you're a fan, let me know how you feel about the bands that I'm not a fan of. Maybe you are, and I don't mean to offend you. I'm not trying to, music is subjective, and just because I don't like something doesn't mean they suck. Obviously, they're doing well in life, and my opinion ain't going to stop their careers. But if you like them, hold on, let me pick this part of my nose. But if you like them, let me know what your thoughts and how they did that night if you watched them yesterday night. So they did Fairies Wear Boots, Black Sabbath. I think that's on is that on the first album, I think, or is that on Paranoid? I think that's on the Paranoid record, right? Okay, then next up, Gojira. Everyone likes Gojira. I feel like Gojira is like a band that, like, I never even heard any of their songs. I know they did that thing with the Olympics and everything. But yeah. I feel like they're kind of band like they're like corporate metal. I guess kind of like Hellstorm, like that corporate metal where it's like a lot of people say industry plants or whatever. Like they're bands that, like, if you're like some doctor or lawyer or some nerdy dude, but you want to show that you're metal, then the bands you're gonna say that you love is gonna be like Butcher Babies, Hailstorm, Mastodon, and Gojira. It's like, I don't know. I just feel like that's the thing. Now that shouldn't be a reason like not to like the music. Obviously, I'm sure if I heard a lot of their stuff, I'd probably like. There's some stuff I have heard that I think it sounds good, but I just wouldn't go out there and buy it or whatever. But as far as Black Sabbath, they did what's that? Mea Culpa. Oh, they did Under the Sun by Black Sabbath. What album is Under the Sun on? I'm not familiar with that song. It must be on maybe some Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, maybe. Anyway, I didn't really see it. Like I said, that band I kind of like checked out. I was making breakfast or something when it came on, and then I missed most of their set. And so yeah, and what was kind of cool is while each band was setting up, they had a cool thing where they one of the cool things is where they had the rotating like a circle. So they had like the band's drum set, amps, and everything on one half, and on the back half that you couldn't see, they were like setting that up for the next act. And then I guess when the one act was done, they would just rotate the stage around, and they would pull all the stuff off that one, that in, and then that one part will already be set up. I mean, that's brilliant. I mean, that's like a way to save time. It's like, a big circle in the stage where it just kind of rotates, and then they would cut to like I wouldn't say commercials, but they would cut to like clips of fans talking about Black Sabbath and how much they mean to them and everything, Ozzy and stuff like that. Then they'd have like little clips of that they've filmed in Birmingham. They showed the bridge, the Black Sabbath bridge, and which was really cool. And then they also have the thing where you can actually do a react cam. So you can, like, if you have a camera on your computer, you can record like 15 seconds of you reacting to it. I did a few of them. I'm just going, yeah. Put my little Spider-Man action figure up and was showing off Spidey like this. Like Max, he's like this. Yeah. So if you saw that out there, that was me. If it came up on your screen or whatever, that was me. Yeah. Anyway, where were we at? So in between songs or in between bands, they would show pretty cool clips and stuff. Then the second band came on, all-star band. Now this was actually really cool. This had Sammy Hagar. Let me see. KK Downing. Tom Morello, of course. I think Nuno was still a part of that little jam. Steven Tyler. Oh, and Rodney Wood from Rolling Stones, which I don't understand why he was there. Like, oh, is he an Ozzy fan, or like he didn't really do much? He just kind of showed up and everyone cheering, a legend, and he just kind of stayed kind of in the back, just playing guitar against the other guy, or whatever. He didn't do no solos, I don't think, or anything. But the highlight of this set, there's a high and a low of this set. The highlight was Steven Tyler. I mean, this guy was phenomenal. I mean, he's 77 years old and he still looks totally good. I mean, his hair is cool, he's still skinny, and he's got the cool outfits on and everything. And then, like, you know, his hair is like fucking nice and full. And then his voice just sounds like it always has. Like, you know, I guess he suffered an injury like maybe last year, I think it was, where I think something hit his vocal cord, like maybe a mic stand or something. I guess it damaged his cords where they had to cancel the entire final Aerosmith tour. So now there's speculation and maybe they'll make a comeback because he's singing really good. He's been slowly getting out there. He did like a charity event a few months back for his own charity event and started singing there. And, you know, but his voice sounds good. So who knows? Maybe Aerosmith will come back and finish that tour and hopefully make their fans happy. And if not, maybe they'll do a residency or something. So yeah, Steven Tyler just knocked out of the park. The thing about Steven Tyler, he didn't do any Black Sabbath covers, I don't think, which is kind of weird. But and then Tobias Forge comes out and does "Bark at the Moon." That was kind of cool. Oh yeah, and then they had like the drummer of Sleep Token. That was kind of funny. Drummer Sleep Token with Tobias Forge. I think Sleep Token and Ghost kind of compete with each other, like who's the coolest masked band or whatever, or undercover band. But yeah, Tobias Forge, I thought, did a really good job with "Bark at the Moon." Vernon Reid. Okay, Vernon Reid's another guy that came out. One of my favorite guitar players. But here's where you pissed me off, Vernon. The way you fucking played "Bark at the Moon," the opening riff, you're not even doing a. You're just you know what I mean? It just fucked up the entire rhythm. Nuno was doing it, but you couldn't really tell because Vernon's guitar was a little bit louder. But he fucked up the way that the rhythm sound. But yeah, but I thought Nuno did the guitar solo really well. Would have been cool to have Jake on it, but Jake said himself he can't do "Bark at the Moon" because of his hand. You know, he's still recovering, but that was the one song he said he would have trouble doing. But but Vernon fucked it up. But I love Vernon Reid, man. He's one of my all-time favorite guitar players. I mean, Cult of Personality guitar solos is one of my favorite solos of all time. And but so Tobias Forge sang that, which was really good. So that was a highlight. I like when he's all, "Who's out there gonna buck for me? Everyone gonna buck for me? I think they're ready to buck." It's like, still talks the same, man. He's like supposed to be a different guy, but he has the same voice, same accent, everything. The whole thing is supposed to be a different singer each time in Ghost, but it's the same guy because he sounds the same, looks the same, talks the same. We don't look the same, but yeah. Anyway, Sammy Hagar comes out and just butchers Flying High again. Now I have to probably point out that maybe he was having some ear monitor situation going on. But no excuses, man. He sounds like he didn't rehearse it. He just sounded like, you know what? I'm Sammy Hagar. I know this song. I could do it. I could sing anything. I'm 77 years old too. Or is he 78 now? I could do anything. I could do anything you can do better. I don't know. That's the attitude I felt like he had going out there. Just like, hey, it's going to have a good time. And we're going to have a good time. And everything's a tequila and party. And who knows? He might have been drinking before, but he was, he kept hitting some bad notes. And I just think the song was not right for his voice. He should have picked like something like, I don't know. He could have did Crazy Train, but then Ozzy's doing Crazy Train. He could have did No More Tears. Probably would have been a better song for him. I have to point out Youngblood did Changes. That kid Youngblood, I guess he's kind of known as like rap pop, whatever he is from England. He's a really good vocalist. Kind of looks like a vampire or whatever. Looks kind of like he looks like the guy that plays the Crow and like or played It, the clown. What's that? Skarsgård, the actor. Kind of looks like him a little bit. But he did a really good version of Changes. Had the whole crowd going, "I'm going through changes." The whole crowd just fucking like singing along. I mean, it just kept going. Like I thought the song ended, and then he had the acapella going with the crowd and shit. That was really cool. Yeah, talented kid. You can tell he's into rock because he did a Kiss cover not too long ago. "I Was Made for Loving You." He did a good version of that. But yeah, so let's go back to the downside. Sammy Hagar, he killed it. Not in a good way, in a bad way. He killed that song. But he did his own song, Rock Candy, really well, of course. But But yeah, it was just a bad night for him. It sounded like he didn't rehearse it. It's just like to me like he's thinking, and I don't even think I think he forgot some of the lyrics or something. But you got to rehearse more, Sammy. You're good at other things though. He's definitely good, man. No matter what. I mean, he's good at his solo stuff and the tour that he's doing with Van Halen or Van Halen songs or whatever. Anyway, what's next? Pantera comes out. Another band. I'm 50-50. I like Pantera. I like Pantera when I hear them. I just don't have any of the records. They're not like a band I rush out to listen to or anything. Again, kind of more like the dude rock kind of shit or dude metal kind of stuff or whatever. Phil Anselmo, I know he's controversial. People think he's a white supremacist or whatever. I don't think he is. I think he's just a dude that he probably just loves his race, I guess. But doesn't mean he hates other races. He's not a white supremacist. He's just a proud white boy, I guess, But there's nothing wrong with being proud of your race as long as you're not hateful towards others. I would think. I don't know. Like, I enjoy being white. I guess I enjoy the privileges of being white, but it doesn't make me like feel like I'm above anyone else. I don't have any hatred towards any other race or anyone who's. I judge slowly on character. Have since I was a little kid. I don't care if you're gay, straight, freaking trans, whatever race you are, Chinese, Mexican, Japanese, black, if you're an asshole, you're an asshole. If you're cool, you're cool. That's all that matters. I've been bullied by just about everybody. And I was bullied by a lot of the Mexicans because that's where I grew up. I grew up in a very heavily Mexican populated town in Atwater, California. And there was quite a few of them were Mexican that bullied me, but I didn't hate all Mexicans because of it. I just hated those dudes because they were fucking assholes. I was always bullied by white dudes too. Anyway, so Pantera comes on. They cover Electric Funeral, which I thought was weird because Rival Sons did Electric Funeral. And I always thought the rule was that each band couldn't cover the same song because I heard one band was saying that, oh, we wanted to do this song, but so-and-so took it already. Well, then how did they get away with doing Electric Funeral? And Rival Sons got away with doing Electric Funeral. Then they also did Planet Caravan, which is kind of cool. But yeah, they're good. I mean, I saw Phil Anselmo in concert when he opened up for Danzig this year. He played in the band Down. He's a nice guy though. He just looks like a kind of guy that's just really cool and chill. You can tell he's like just a good guy. I'm just not really big on his voice or nothing like that or that type of shit. Yeah. But suffice to say, does not discount the enormous gravity impact that Pantera has on the metal and rock world. I mean, I respect the fuck out of that. Tool. Now, this is a band I don't have no problem trashing because I just think they're boring as hell. I don't get why people like them. The bass playing is good. Good musicianship, all that matters, all around, I guess. But I'm just not a fan of the music. And a lot of it's Maynard. I kind of like that Perfect Circle a little bit better. There's stuff I've heard of that, which is kind of cool. But just Maynard, I don't know, he's just kind of annoying the way he kind of tries to act like he's like a weird dude when he's probably not. Like, I'm not feeling the authenticity of him being weird or being, whatever he's trying to be. Like on stage, he's like kind of crouching and trying to act like, like he's going through a moment, and then his vocals is just whiny. It's like, there's no melody. It's just a droning kind of melody over the sludgy, grudgy, same old hashed out chord progressions. Bass playing is really good though. I mean, I think they should get rid of the entire band and just keep the bass player. Maybe they should make all their songs just out of the bass line. That's what I would do anyway. So I go to the bathroom on these guys. I'm thinking I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be done by the time I get out. I stay in the bathroom for a good amount of time. I come out and they're still fucking playing. I'm like, what the fuck? But they did a cover. They did Hand of Doom. Boom, down, boom, down, down. I think that's the one that does that. Yeah, they did Hand of Doom. And I guess they did their song Anima. And a song called 46-2, I guess. But yeah. Moving on, Tool. Now, Slayer. Slayer fucking did it. They pulled it out of their ass, man. Think about Slayer because, we hear all the stories about how Tom Araya and Kerry King just hate each other and they'll never tour again, that they're just going to do these one-off shows just to, for the fans. They say for the fans, but I'm sure they're probably getting paid a pretty penny for it. So to me, it's kind of hard to really love them again, like I used to back in the day, because I feel like they're only doing it for that. And you kind of almost feel that, you almost kind of see it and feel it on stage. Although I did see Tom Araya smile a few times at the crowd and look like he was enjoying himself. But, if a band ain't enjoying doing it for the love of doing it, or if they just don't get along and they're just doing it just to make you happy, then it's just, I can't be happy. It's cool that other fans are happy for them to see them and play and stuff like that, but I just wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to like if I'm not happy, how am I supposed to make you happy if I'm not happy? I always say it all the time. You're not good to yourself if you're no good. If you're not good to yourself, if you're not happy, you're no good for anybody else. You're not going to help anybody else if you're not looking out for number one. So that said, they blew me away. I didn't care for the opening song, God Hates Us, or Disciple, God Hates Us All. I mean, I barely heard that album before, and it's all right. It's not bad. War Ensemble's good, obviously. Wicked World, that's the song they did by Black Sabbath. Did a really good version of that. I think that's on the first album, right? Or no? Do I get that wrong too? South of Heaven. So when they get into South of Heaven, Raining Blood, and then close it with Angel of Death, that's when it just fucking went. Yeah, fucking, you can see the mosh pit was fucking forming, and Jason Momoa got in the mosh pit. I forgot. I think he got on during Pantera, and I think he was regretting it because he was. Oh yeah, the Pantera sound was bad too. Like Zakk Wylde's guitar. I have to go back a little bit about Pantera. I'm just not remembering this. I remember throughout the night, each band has sort of fucked up mixes on certain things, but Pantera had the worst mix. I mean, Zack's guitar was just yucky sounding. Probably sounded good there, but through the stream, it just wasn't that good. Clogged up. Anyway, so yeah. Where was I at? Slayer sounded like badass. Jason Momoa was moshing, but when he went out during Pantera, I could tell he kind of regretted it because he didn't. The crowd was just eating him up. So Guns N' Roses comes on, and everyone's thinking, "Oh my God, Axl Rose is gonna suck," and he kind of did. I mean, he was Axl Rose. I think we're never gonna get the Axl Rose we had in the '80s or whatever, or 90, maybe in early '90s or whatever. We're never gonna get that back. That's probably why the tour is called, what you see is, or what you want to get is not what you're going to get, or whatever the name of that tour is. What you think you're getting is not what you're getting, whatever. Probably because he's probably tired of hearing people say, "Oh, it's not the old Axl Rose." Well, you're not going to get that no more. You're just going to get how he sounds today. And he kind of sounds like Mickey Mouse. Like, "Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. We got everything you want. How do we know the name? You got to, the jungle, welcome to the jungle. Be my knees. Imagine doing that for 2 hours, man. So he sings Bloody Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, and music-wise and everything, it sounded kind of good. He was actually hitting the notes, and like his Mickey Mouse voice actually kind of worked for that song until I got to the middle part, man. I always say this about Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. That middle part, that's one of the greatest, most heaviest riffs ever written, especially for that time. Imagine being a 15-year-old kid and you're putting that song on, and then you hear that part, you're thinking, "Holy shit, this is the beginning of thrash metal." I'm going to start a thrash metal band. So anyway, music-wise, it sounded good, but then Axl started singing off key because I think the thing is in 4/4. Axl was doing like a 3/4 timing on top of the 4/4 timing. Just fucked it all up, man. It was just noodled up and everything. So he Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. Also did Junior's Eyes. I'm not really too familiar with that Black Sabbath song. That might be on one of the Never Say Die or Technical Ecstasy albums, maybe. And then they did the song Never Say Die, which I always like that song. I thought it was a good song. And they did It's All Right. I guess they opened up the show with that, which I didn't even recognize that song. I thought it was like a funky Guns N' Roses song from his old stuff or whatever. I don't know. But then they closed it with Welcome to the Jungle, Paradise City. Slash was good. Duff was good. Everyone thought the guitar player was Izzy Stradlin, but it wasn't. They got a guy that looks like Izzy kind of, but more like a younger version of him. They have a new drummer, and the drummer was really good. So yeah, overall the music was good. It was tight, except for Axl Rose. He was just being Axl Rose, I guess. And yeah, he looks funny with that haircut. Anyway, Metallica stole the show, man. When it comes to all these bands, I always knew Metallica was gonna rip it. People dog on Metallica how they're not metal no more, and they're this and that, and the last album sucks. Blah blah blah. I think 72 Seasons is a phenomenal record. I think it's right up there with Injustice for All, or not as good as Injustice for All, but it's the album that sounds like it should have came out around that time with the Black Album and Justice for All. It should have came out before Load and all those albums, whatever. But yeah, I think it's a great album. I think a lot of people have problems with it because it's so long. There's so many songs on it. Same with Hardwired. Hardwired was just a boring album, but started out good, but then got boring. But I still pop on 72 Seasons every now and then. It still sounds fresh and good. I love the guitar sound on it, and it's just a good album. But they did Hole in the Sky by Black Sabbath, which was really good. I thought they fucking rocked it, man. Hole in the Sky. That's one of my favorite Black Sabbath songs. And they go into Creeping Death. Then they do For Whom the Bell Tolls. Then they do Johnny Blade, another cover of Black Sabbath, which I'm not familiar with that song either. That must be on one of those albums. So they're doing like the deep cuts and shit. But then they close the show with Battery, man. When they started that Battery, the whole crowd was just going crazy the way they started with the intro and shit, which was pre-taped. But yeah, then they come out. Yeah, it was badass, man. So Battery, and then they close it with Master of Puppets, and yeah. So they pretty much did it. Phenomenal job. I mean, Lars Ulrich is always going to be Lars Ulrich. He's always going to have those little off time things that happen or whatever happens with his drums. And then yeah, that was it. And then we go into Ozzy and Black Sabbath, which I already talked about. So yeah. So we got almost an hour talking about this, yammering about Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne. So this was special for me. I waited for this day to happen, and it happened yesterday. And it was a good 9.5 hours of my time, which was well worth it. $30. If you paid $60, you got a t-shirt. But yeah, I got a t-shirt too, but this came from someplace I ordered online. They're one of those places, those Facebook ads you see, whatever, and then they're selling all these like sort of they're not licensed or bootleg shit, whatever, but you got to get it fast because you order it and then the store disappears after a while because they probably get cease and desist letters. Then they change their name and start selling the same shit over again. I just like because they do the print all over, stuff like that. But I still promote the artist by buying merchandise from their website and their music and everything else. So yeah, but I can't pass this up. Anyway, I do thank you for joining me on this, and I hope you enjoyed my take on it. I want to hear yours as well. Drop in the comments what you thought of it, and have you seen it yet? If not, it's available on YouTube now. It's just like I thought. Even if you bought a ticket, say it's going to be on YouTube the next day. Not the whole thing in on YouTube as a whole because it's 9.5 hours, but there's tons of clips already out there that's taken from the actual show. So I would imagine if you type in whatever band you want to see, Supergroup, Slayer, Tool, you'll probably find it. Stay away from Tool. I'm just kidding. So yeah, so be kind to yourselves, be kind to everyone else. Hope you had a good and safe 4th of July. We're already halfway through the year. Eventually I'll be doing my top 10 black metal albums. I'll have some guests on that for that, of black metal albums that came out so far. And then I might even do my top 10 of 2025 albums that came out so far. And again, don't forget to let me put that up here again. Follow me on TikTok. It's crazy over there, man. Like I've been getting I got like almost 800 followers. It's been like I've been just posting a lot of cool stuff on there and everything, doing album showdowns and things like that. And everyone gets involved. It's a very cool community. So yeah, I'm almost up to 800 followers, and I started with like 400 or 500, and in the past 3 weeks I got up almost 800. And so I'm going to do some top 10 stuff with the top 25 albums of the year. And then they're like regular metal releases, rock releases, and then I'll do a separate one for black metal and death metal and all those more extreme metal bands. And some of those bands actually end up in my top 10 or top 20 of the regular releases. But yeah, it's fun out there, man. I still want to get that Drawville guy, the black metal kid that released the AI album cover with him posing like Michael Jackson on Thriller, but then the music is really good. He released the stuff today on vinyl, for pre-order, but I'm still skeptical. I'm waiting for the guy to respond to me. I want to interview him so I could say, hey, is the music AI too? Because there's a lot of rumors out there. I'm not going to buy it if the music is AI. I don't care about the album cover art, but if the music's all done with AI, I'm throwing that shit out. But it's a really good sounding record. I want to like it. I want to put it in my top 10 of black metal records, but not if it's AI. If you use AI to mix it or something, or maybe add an instrument here and there, that's fine. But it needs to be at least 70-80% of human freaking created by humans, by playing guitar and singing for real, not some damn computer that you fed a prompt to. That's another story. We're going to do a show on that. What are your thoughts on AI and just taking over, and you can't even tell the difference of the real shit? There's that one band on Spotify. It's the something Velvet Sundown or whatever. It's supposed to be like the Velvet Underground. It's like, anyway, let's go. We're done. It's been an hour. All right, I need to get out of here. As I was saying before, be kind to yourself, because if you're not good to yourself, you're no good to anyone else. Horns up and peace out, and catch me on TikTok. Woo! Just point your phone to the thing, right? Point your phone to